We're back. Thank you so much to BetterHelp. Be sure to go check them out. www.betterhelp.com/JRE podcast. 10% off your first month. Go check them out. Link will be in the description. Kamar. Shout out to Tyler. Tyler, who did the movie game jingle, just joined the Patreon. Late breaking news.
What up, Tyler?
Fucking A, Tyler.
Tyler, if you're listening, which you probably are because you just joined the Patreon, I'm going to find a way to give you a free Patreon.
Oh, shit,
you should
man.
You should be like a...
Honorary member.
Yeah. Name and a number.
1786, Freddie Gibbs and Brian Moses on the White Guilt Month tour.
Yeah, Joe trying to get his hood pass back.
Oh, I think he got it back. I stopped counting, but in the first 5 minutes, I believe there was 42 N-bombs. But they went hard in the paint.
Let's just get out of the way. I can't believe that Joe, like, you have these guys on. Clearly, they mentioned it. It was out in the open. We're here to clear the air for the black community. I never thought in a million years Joe would then go out of his way to try and explain what he meant by the Planet of the Apes. Like, I just don't... Why bother? Dude, let it go. They're here to give you a pass. And then to be like, listen, what I meant was monkeys are from Africa. You guys are from Africa. I'm from Boston. You guys are monkeys.
Someone said that it might be because of his stepdaughter.
What do you mean?
She's black.
I'm aware.
Oh, no, but and maybe at home they're like, they want this. Do you know what I mean? I could only think that's the only outside pressure that would make him want to do this.
To do what?
Why explain it, though?
Explain a joke, you know? Then it's not that good a joke.
No, I'm just saying at this point, let it go. They were giving you the pass. It's already over. Don't, like, it just felt like...
He just didn't need to say anything there.
Yeah.
Agreed. Just say, thanks, guys, for coming on. Thank you for knowing I'm not a racist.
Roll with the punches.
Thank
like, let
you
them,
for putting
dude,
this in context.
They're doing you all the favors. They're saying all the stuff that
Yep,
they can. You know what I mean? Just, you don't need to then explain it. You're just, I don't know. Listen, I love Joe. He gets a pass. I know he's not a racist, but I just at that point was like, Joe, just shut the fuck up.
Does the word pander come to mind? You think he was pandering?
What, to the black community?
No,
Yes.
I don't think he was.
I don't think so either.
I mean, Joe definitely, when he has black guests on, you can hear a little bit more like, what's the worst way I could say this? More black speak.
If he incorporated more ebonics?
Yes.
Remember
Joe,
that word that used to be around?
Yes. Joe constantly was like, you know what I'm saying? Not saying? Like he kind of, it was getting a little non-saying in there.
I can't for the life of me incorporate finna into my vocabulary.
Yeah, that doesn't work for you.
But you hear it, like, it's been around. Like, but it seems like I hear it all the time now.
It's a southern thing, though.
Yeah.
Finna is a southern slang, I think.
You can't speak the Queen's English and then they just throw finna in there.
I finna, I'm going to try it.
Well, I was at the laboratory
Finna
earlier.
try.
But I
and,
mean,
finna
Freddie
tried it.
Gibbs pretty much told everybody, Joe included, like, you can't say that word, not in context, not out of context.
Well,
it's just not, that's it.
Do we
period.
need to establish a social norms? Like, these are all unsaid rules of society. Do you know what I mean? But does it have to be put down in writing?
Simon, the problem
What's
though is
the
like,
writing you're going to put it down in? Like, you're going to make a law. That's what you're saying.
Simon, what's black in Spanish?
Negro, I believe.
Yes.
Negro.
You just canceled a good set. What a setup.
but you
Boom!
But you see what I'm saying? Like there's
But I again, okay.
like I saw this girl that was freaking out because she saw the word the other day on a crayon, and she was like trying to cancel Crayola.
The N-word is not okay, how
Well, Simon's walking on eggshells.
No. This is so stupid. Negro is not the N-word.
Walk away from this side.
Yes, you are correct, Simon.
That's yeah.
Yeah, either way, I agree with you. You probably shouldn't say it. But again, I think if you're quoting someone, like that clip of Biden that was going around that they were using for context, out of context, like he's trying to get a point across that what the guy said was atrocious. And it's tough to do that by being like, he said he's an N-bomb pharmacist and an N-bomb, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know either, Matt. You have a black person do that interview. Like, I don't know what you're even talking about.
You don't remember the clip of Biden that was going around?
Oh, it was Biden. Sorry. No, I don't remember.
Fine, then we'll move on.
No. I legitimately, I don't think I've seen that. So
Doesn't matter. I'll put it on the list of things I'll
but
forget
no,
to show you.
I just, I think you can get the same. Like, that just seems like kind of a semantics argument to me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this isn't going to be as an effective a statement if I don't use that word. I think you can just not use that word. It'll be equally as effective, you know?
Yeah, but if you were quoting let's say you were let's say you were reading a Hitler speech, would you edit that to not hurt people's feelings? If you're trying to get a point across of like how evil he was?
Again,
I'm just asking the question. There's
no,
fucking...
what's the word you want to take out of there? You know what I mean?
But again, so you're just saying there's only one single word in the English language.
I guess so. I don't know. I can't figure out a time in my life where the point I would be making would need. Do you know what I'm saying?
Fine, but think about it like this. If I read a quote from John A. MacDonald where he's talking about how natives are the scum of the earth, that's equally as offensive and hurtful to hear for a native person as that word is for a black person, right? But
you refer to them as savages, I believe.
That's what I'm saying. So my point, though, is like you hear these quotes read all the time.
So maybe there are more words that shouldn't be said. I don't know.
But we know that's what we're not supposed to do.
I'm just saying, Simon, in the context of quoting someone, it's a weird flex to ever cancel someone.
That guy
and again,
Netflix got fired. For
Yeah,
doing
no,
exactly that.
for sure. And especially because it hadn't been that way up till that point. But I guess if like, I don't know. If Freddie Gibbs is making a rule across the board, then we follow it. You know what I mean?
You can't say it when you're singing along to a song.
The counter is...
No, I don't think you can say it when you're singing along to a song.
These are the
anymore.
social rule doctrine I'm talking about.
Again, you're using... That's anecdotal. Freddie Gibbs says, Dr. Dre, the counter argument...
Yeah, no, I was being facetious.
I get it. But Dr. Dre in the 90s, his rule was, if you don't want white people saying it, don't put it in your fucking music. Plain and simple.
That sounds better.
They buy it.
There should be
if the word
some...
is that, it's got to go out for everyone. And I'm not telling anyone what they can and not say, but we have to actually dead the word.
Like, dude, I don't know if you
I
remember
think it's going to be deaded on its own because most people are not even going to quote it anymore because I think...
disagree. Rap is keeping that word very, very
and
well
it's making
alive.
lots of young black men lots of money.
Simon, I don't know if you remember this, but a couple years ago, pre-pandemic, Kendrick Lamar brought this white girl on stage.
I remember.
Yeah, to
And
rap
she
swimming
sang
pools.
the word.
Yeah, and he knew how, like, so again, he intentionally pulls a white girl out of the audience and is like, rap the song I wrote that has this word throughout. And I can tell you from...
Was he angry at her?
Yeah.
He was.
On stage, he called her out. He was like, whoa, what are you doing? And it's kind of weird. It's like, you know how hard it is to edit a song? You know how hard it is to rap a song, period? Yeah. Try editing 10 words out of it. And it's very very difficult. And again, I'm not...
For sure. And in that situation, that seems...
egregious.
Like one of those weird flexes, for sure. But... I don't know, man. I don't.
Listen, I agree with you. It's a hateful word. It's gross. It's not like, I mean, we have thousands of hours of podcasts, and I doubt it's been said maybe more than once or twice outside of quoting people on this show. So it's not like we have a big problem with this word. I'm just saying,
we'll only know if we're successful.
But there are other words.
Did you watch Bel Air?
No.
Yeah.
He has.
Because they have. That's
Yeah,
one of the.
I
things
saw
in
that.
it.
But look. For sure, when you're talking about Native Canadian people and you're calling them derogatory words, like those words shouldn't be said either. There are plenty of words that are like.
Okay, but that's a good example. Savage, like, so are you saying we should get rid of the word savage from the English language as a descriptor?
But that's different, right? Because
I agree with you.
It's both, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's a word used commonly to describe things.
That isn't the same with the N-word.
I totally agree. But my point, Simon, remains the same, that if I'm quoting John A. MacDonald to get across what a piece of shit he was to the Native community, and I read a quote where he calls them savages and says all these awful things about them, it has the same effect as, a black person being called that word, right?
I mean, I guess, yes.
Or whatever. We're getting caught up in semantics.
The difference is that if you were to say the S word, nobody would know what the fuck you were talking about. Ow.
That's what you get for putting your fucking feet on the
That is
table.
a viral
piece of
moment.
shit.
That's awesome.
Sorry, 2:53.
I like how you think that the time of day is going to help me in the editing bay. That's great, Simon. Please text me that time.
10 minutes.
Fucking asshole.
Anyways,
They talked about-
it's we live in weird times, man.
Strange times. They talked about how like people sold their music before the streaming thing came around, and like that Indie who was the one who called you out, she's getting screwed by the company. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of moving parts here, and it's crazy how the record companies always win, or it's not. You know that, but the artists are the content.
I mean, I said it. I'd be pissed. Listen, I read an article like 5 years ago that Taylor Swift got paid something like $5,000 for 41 million streams. I would be pissed if I were her too. And I'd be like, you're telling me that this guy, Joe Rogan, you gave him $100 million, yet you're taking my music and selling the same subscriptions, and you're giving me $5,000 for 41 million downloads or whatever the fuck streams. Like, I would be livid.
It's so
I'd be
disrespectful
absolutely
to the art. And the
Well,
artists.
that's exactly why Kanye is doing it the way he's doing it. Because even if you sell 20,000 of his little thingies, that's probably better than you would do off the 42,000 streams.
Do either of you guys know what it is?
But what is?
The stem player?
Yeah, I saw them yakking about it.
Someone hit me up on the Reddit and was like, I think Matt should get on this. There's like
It's something that you can sample or
Yeah, you can like break it down into 4 different parts or whatever.
and then Joe didn't realize that he doesn't like sampled music. He likes mashup music.
Yeah.
Which I forgot his name. My
Girl
favorite.
Talk.
Girl
Girl
Talk. Exactly.
Talk, yeah.
The ultimate mashup, right? Because samples is a whole different thing.
Samples is like the Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys, License to Ill, is all basically Led Zeppelin backwards, and
It is?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
License to Ill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like it's legitimately Led Zeppelin.
Rhymin' and Stealing is I think it's when the levee breaks.
No way.
most hip hop is sampling. Like most beats are.
That's
like
what
the
it,
core
what,
of
what it
hip-hop.
Well, they
is.
were taking old records and
Exactly.
Of course, yeah.
And so you saw Kanye. You didn't watch the documentary?
No.
the genius.
But
No.
do you realize you watch? It's 3 parts. You watch it all.
I haven't seen the third part yet.
So he has nothing to do with this documentary. When going into it, I thought this is just going to make Kanye look
No, it's
like
the
He has
guy that
something.
had-
He has
No.
some.
No, it's
He
the
has
guy that
no-
has all the footage.
Well, no, but
he approved the music, but he has no executive producer.
yeah, right. But they were working together at the beginning of this thing.
Yeah, he was-
making
he
a
was-
documentary.
And all I'm saying is not paint him in a good light, but it clearly shows everything fell apart when his mom died.
Oh yeah.
So that must only happen in the third episode then, because the first 2 paint him in a fine light.
Because it's a documentary.
They make it look like he is just like taken advantage of by Rockefeller and.
Well, did you know he
Is
did
it
H to the
Rockefeller
Izzo?
or Rockefeller
Of course you knew that. So
Rockefeller?
he did that
Rockefeller
song for
Records, yeah.
Jay-Z,
with an A?
Hey, yeah.
H to the Izzo, and that made him enough money that he could be. And all the times they're like, he's a good rapper producer. He's like, what do you mean rapper? I'm a rapper. Like, and do you see where he plays Through the Wire, which is an amazing rap song?
Yeah.
If you watch this for Pharrell,
Yeah.
and he just loses his mind.
Yeah.
Like, it's very interesting, and I think worth watching. And I don't think it is what you think it is, because in the third episode, he goes crazy. He is living a crazy life. At one point, he's at his ranch in Wyoming, I think it is, and they're in a studio. People are like playing music. He's on a phone closing deals. There's a big screen of like bombs going off, and Justin Bieber's like timidly asking him if he could do there's so much going on. It's really interesting to see. Not about Kanye, though.
On Disney Plus they have a Wu-Tang show, not a documentary.
Oh, I was saving it for the post, Joe.
Oh, you were.
It's one of the biggest piles of shit I have ever. So you watched a bit? Tell me you watched.
I watched
the
the first 4 episodes.
Okay, that's how deep I
maybe.
am. Tell me you agree with me.
Well, it feels like
It's the cheesiest piece of
so,
fromage
yeah,
ever.
yeah,
It
it's
bothers me And Jared was like, I knew you'd hate it.
And
You're
what's his name? RZA.
Yeah.
Has all to do with it too. Like,
Yeah, wrote and produced.
yeah. So there's no reason why this thing shouldn't have been a slapper, as the kids say.
It could have been The Wire-esque.
This is what I mean.
And they chose to do the most watered
It
down,
feels Disney.
cheesy.
It's on Disney Plus, and it feels like a Disney show.
Simon, I wanted to throw up.
Yeah. Even
the worst
everybody's names, but I guess those were their real names, like Power.
Yeah, well, Divine, Shotgun, I think, was Method Man's.
See, I didn't even realize that was Method Man until like
that's-
episode 4.
The guy that plays him is a real rapper, Dave East.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Joey Badass plays Inspector Deck. He's also a real
And
rapper.
I don't know why, but Ghostface, the guy who plays Ghostface, actually looks
Kind of,
like
yeah.
Ghostface. And not really, but there's something about him that... but yeah, no, it is... You're right. It's a garbage show. And it's like so many seasons, eh? Can you believe it?
I hope not, because
There's
I
like
keep
3
watching.
seasons,
It's
yeah.
so bad. This show, it's so bad. Like the RZA, stay in your lane.
Well,
'cause
it's
this
like
is terrible.
It's like the Fresh Prince show. It has that weird, like, unreal quality to it. You don't find that with Fresh Prince? Like, it's just with whatever it's
Bel
called.
Air.
Bel Air. It's just too fake. Like, there's a certain fakeness about it.
You know what
that
it is?
It's trying too hard to be real or something.
It's an incredibly, incredibly well-produced porno with no sex.
It's after school special.
I was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. Like the best produced after school special
Sure,
you've ever seen.
sure.
Where they're not really allowed to like do anything too risque, but they do they in this show? I don't even like. Is there nudity and stuff? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
There is?
You see Ghostface mom's tit when she almost dies in the
Oh
tub.
yeah, right.
They drop the N-bomb a lot.
Oh, they definitely do that.
Someone dying in a tub is porn to you?
No,
No,
nudity.
no, he
We
said
didn't
nudity,
say
yeah.
porn.
Well, you said a porno with no sex.
No, what I said was it's shot like. You know when the pizza guy shows up in a porno, like the quality, the quality of the acting and the dialogue, it's almost like that quality.
Well, I'm probably never going to see it. Then they talked
Oh,
about
you'll definitely watch it.
they talked about
get
pedophiles. Woody Allen is like the fanciest of them all, right? Because I think he did wait for her to be of age. It's still fucked up.
Yeah, it's still fucked up, but it's different than the way it's portrayed.
Slightly different than the way it's portrayed.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Unless he fucked her the whole time she was a kid,
Yeah.
then that's a big problem.
If you go out there and ask your average Joe Schmo again, or Jane Schmaine, they will tell you that he is a pedophile who preyed on his daughter when she was young. And that's just not the case. It's still gross and weird and super disturbing, but on a different level than... Because he could have been grooming her that whole time.
Than the one they talked about at the beginning of the Bisbing special.
Oh, dude. The Cain Velasquez thing
Yeah.
is so fucked up.
He shot someone?
A guy who apparently had been
No.
repeatedly
No, you have the
abusing
story
his
wrong.
daughter. No,
No,
Too soon.
no. You're on the right track. He shot his dad. He shot the wrong person.
He shot the pedophile's dad.
Correct.
So his intent was to do the right thing.
This is the thing.
Are you
It's-
sure about
Yes,
that?
I'm sure. It's very like details are still hazy. I also want to know if he showed up with a gun.
There's a guy out there who like repeatedly raped his daughter, apparently.
Molested, yeah.
and his daughter is 4 years old.
Who has been arrested?
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do you know the balls or the?
Well, you got to be insane.
This is where I'm at. Yeah, like you.
Like to do that to a normal person's kid.
Yeah, you're already
a
fucked.
Sick fuck. But you have to be like full on.
Deathwish.
Yeah, it's death by cop. You know, what do they call
Suicide by
suicide
cop.
by cop? This is suicide by MMA fighter. Because what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, like MMA heavyweight. Like
I don't know.
But
enough
what did
details.
Joe say? Joe said, "I just wish this was in the
Bisbing.
Bisbing."
episode.
He
I
said,
wish
"I
he'd beat him to death.
beat him to death and not." But I guess
Well,
at the time he didn't know it was.
It
his
also
dad.
changes if it's his dad, right? Because you're like, well, I also wish he had done it to
What
the
if
right
his
person.
dad ended up being a pedophile too, just not of that girl?
Well, you know when you don't know enough
Jesus,
details.
yeah.
You know when you
I
don't
should
know.
have waited the official 2 weeks before I said anything.
No. What I was gonna say is when you don't know enough details, you start doing things in your own head. What I did was this: I made up this story that Kane showed up to beat the life out of the guy, and the dad came to the rescue with a gun, And then Kane took the gun from the dad and shot the dad.
Are you on his defense team or something?
Well, I could be. Fuck.
White
You like-
Johnny Cochran.
Yeah, you like that?
Everybody's-
Chewbacca is a Wookiee.
It's interesting because I paint and I have a playlist, like, and the music's all over the place. And the other day, Great Balls of Fire came on. They were talking about Jerry Lee Lewis, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And he married his 14-year-old cousin or whatever. And I was like, I don't know if I can listen to this song anymore. But as a kid, it was in Top Gun. I think it was in Stand By Me. Like, it was a classic wild piano. And, like, it weighed on me. I don't know.
Well, there's that whole movie, Great Balls of Fire.
If I've been affected. And it just sort of, it was a different time. You know when they say that? It was a different time.
Well, and then Joe points out that there are still laws in the States. I think where there's a state where you can marry a girl at 16 or something like.
Dude, there's a couple states where it's like 12 if
So
the
it's a
parents
law.
sign off.
But
Legal.
how are those still in existence? Like, just fucking fix
Well,
that.
there's a story we're going to talk
Structured guidelines.
There's a story that'll come up in the post show. We'll wonder about that. Have you started watching Euphoria?
No.
So did you watch Euphoria?
The finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't remember a couple weeks ago we came out that there was people were talking about this show glorifying something.
Glorifying like
Drug
use.
There's no way this show is glorifying anything.
I can see both sides.
Really?
Of it. I mean, look, glorifying is a weird word, but I can see.
Maybe it's the wrong word, but this is a depressing, harsh, like realistic show. I find.
Well, you forget what it's like to be young. Anything on TV can be.
But the consequences, you pay the crying, the sadness,
I know, but when you're a kid, you have blinders on. You see exactly what you want to see.
I suppose.
If it's a show about partying and how partying will ruin your life, you only see the scenes where partying is fun.
But it'd be easier if you saw the show.
Look,
just to,
Probably, yeah.
Just like Degrassi Junior High for the American people out there, that was
Everyone knows Degrassi.
Well, there you go. Good, bad, gritty, not gritty. It gets conversations started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and that's just good.
But I feel like when we were kids, or my Euphoria was Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah, probably, and that was just fake as shit.
And
So
now it's gone.
yeah,
Like this, like the Dark Knight meets Beverly
but
Hills.
Degrassi
90210.
High, that was a more realistic.
They try to deal with issues that come on: drugs, AIDS, pregnancy, yeah, all that stuff, bullying. There's a weird disconnect with people that drugs are only drugs if they're illegal.
Drugs.
Right? If
are
you're doing
only
Xanax
drugs.
or like all these, like I don't do drugs. I don't do any drugs. You do drugs, and it's like no, they're all drugs. Drinking's a drug. Nicotine's a drug. Like it's got to. That has to be figured out somewhere
I mean, I would disagree.
towards our road to legalization.
I would disagree, except even to this day, if you're like, well, I have a prescription for pot, people are like, yeah, sure.
That'll take time. Yeah.
Well, a lot of insurance policies still won't cover it as,
Which is insane.
And it's legal now, being used as medicine,
I know,
and they
it's nuts.
still are like, well, it's pot.
Yeah.
But if you're doing Xanax, you're fine.
Oh, yeah. They're like,
You
we'll
keep
pay
doing
for your Xanax
and
all day. Yeah.
killing people because you don't remember it.
Yeah.
So there's just a disconnect there that has to be addressed. He said people on weed are nice, Joe. Compared to like cocaine, everyone's like
Of course.
over the top. But people on heroin are pretty chill. I don't know if you ever seen someone on heroin, but they don't bother anyone.
Dude, when Freddie Gibbs was talking about how people on crack like to fuck and shit, there's a famous, like, your mom's house clip that they always pull up. It's this guy with no teeth. He's bald. He's like, he's on TikTok. He's like, he's like, if anyone wants to come over and smoke methamphetamine with me and then watch me masturbate, it doesn't take more than 2 strokes. And I shoot an incredible load. It only takes 2 strokes. If you want to come over and smoke some meth with me, please.
Is this from Segura? Is
Yeah,
this your mom's house?
yeah. This is one of the.
I just thought of something very profound, Kamar.
Okay.
Just right off the cuff. The true definition isn't how you are when you're on that drug. It's how you are when you're off that drug. So people who, when they're out of weed, comparatively to people when they're out of heroin, how you act when you don't have your drug will be the true.
I don't know, man. I'm a pretty heroin junkie-esque dude with without weed for a couple
but
days.
you're not a heroin ass dude. You know, there's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not about to suck dick for a nug, but I'm pretty agitated.
I think they portray withdrawal partially as a deterrent.
Of course.
Like, it's just man up. Like, you can get through this. It isn't like you die. Maybe with opioids, like, which is heroin, it's a little more painful. But you get sick, you get out of your system, you move on. You just maybe for a day or two you feel like shit.
Not with alcohol.
Really bad COVID. Yes, with alcohol too.
No, it can kill you.
Some people
Yeah,
can.
well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's why they never shut the LCBO one day.
But that's what I'm saying to you is alcohol is the one where you actually can die from.
You get the shivers and sickness, and even a hangover partially is a withdrawal symptom of your body going, give me back that stuff. It felt good.
I honestly, dude, every once in a while I think about a hangover and I just feel like.
You liked hangovers?
No, I got the absolute worst. Simon, you remember me towards the end.
Yeah.
I was like.
You have no idea how bad they are now.
I never got hangovers.
Yeah, but you also stopped drinking at like 25.
Did you ever get blackout drunk in your life?
I mean, maybe once or twice.
Because like even
Like
when.
blackout drunk. I mean, I've been plenty drunk, but just where I legitimately can't remember doing things.
Because that's what I'm saying, Simon. Like even, you'd come up to the cottage a few years ago and like you'd get drunk, but not like hammered.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't drunk.
That's what I'm saying.
That was just whatever.
Yeah, I'm talking about getting
I
like.
could have still fucking driven home if I had.
I'm talking about getting like fucking absolutely like where you wake up and feel crippled. Like you feel like there's no liquid inside your skull at all.
Yeah. The last time I can remember that happening was my birthday, Babylon. We were doing. Yeah,
Yes, it was the Money show. Or
No,
the
no,
Dunny
no,
show.
no.
No.
It was after that. We were doing Red Bull shots. I
Oh,
had never
yeah.
had a
Jager
Red Bull
bombs.
before.
Yeah.
Not Jager bombs.
Yeah.
Jaeger bomb is Red Bull with
With Jägermeister.
Jägermeister.
That's
There
what we
you
were
go,
doing.
yeah.
Jager bombs. Yeah.
And then I remember driving home in the cab and saying to the cab driver, because this was before Uber, saying to the cab driver, I'm just going to stick my head out the window now. And I just whole ride home because otherwise.
That was a game changer because I remember I was living in Australia in 2000, and it's a big vacation spot, and all the British people, all the Irish people were just coming to the bar, vodka Red Bull, mate, vodka Red Bull, and it's like the alcohol depressant, the crazy caffeine.
Dude, that one fucks you up too because like you don't realize how drunk you are until the come down.
Oh yeah.
From the Red Bull, and then like that could be a recipe for disaster.
It seems like it's
because you're going to take
illegal.
4 shots in between the time.
I mean, for me, the real problem too was like, it was always the after hours, because then that's when like the cigarettes would come out, and that's when I feel like you get the worst fucking hangover.
Yeah,
when you're chain smoking, when you're
works
chain
together.
smoking cigarettes, like dude, Ritual towards the end, we would stay till like 9 a.m. and it was just like we would drink a whole bottle of tequila. And like
And think
probably
you're having the time of your
yeah,
life.
and probably smoke 2 packs of smokes like in this dingy, fucking dank basement. No windows, not a window, which
Living
is
the
why
life, living the dream.
So
I'm still
gross.
thinking about what you said, Kamar, that it's the hangover is telling you that you need more of that thing.
Well, if
But it could be the exact opposite, right?
But
like
if
it's
you
telling
do
you to
poison
stop
yourself.
doing that.
if you are hungover and drink, it lessens it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah.
Which is just the same thing as like you're going through withdrawal.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like you could nap. I could nap for 8 hours and not still feel shitty. But if you had like a vodka Red Bull, somehow
You're
it just
right
took
back
that
in the
edge off.
game,
Yes,
yeah.
literally.
You're going through withdrawal and you're going through mass hydration because if you drink water for every beer or every alcoholic drink you drink, you're not going to feel that bad. No one does that though. I'm sure there are video game players killing people with drones right now.
Yes,
There must be some sort of recruiting program.
100%.
What if? I'm sure that's happening now.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they scouted out the tournaments,
Dude, I
looking
was
for the best people.
Like, do you remember The Last Starfighter?
Yes, exactly like that, Kamar.
You don't know that.
Exactly like that.
I was the 45th best chopper pilot in Battlefield 4 in Canada. I could have done that, no problem.
Did somebody approach you?
No, I'm just saying it's the same. When he was like, if they could set up a controller, just like Joe, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like,
where do you think?
No,
the
but
best
that's how
gamers
drones are flown, man.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
Have you ever seen them? They're in their fucking.
yeah, you just sit there, dude. Now they have VR headsets. You
Yeah.
just put the headset on, and you're literally just controlling. It's fucking bananas.
Like what movie? What sci-fi movie is it where it's like The Last Starfighter, but it's more recent, where they have to recruit the people and they fight? Is it Ender's Game?
I don't know.
That sounds right.
Anyways, but it was exactly like that. They recruit. No, it wasn't. Maybe it was the one with Adam Sandler.
Oh, old man alert.
Pixel.
Here we go.
You know that one?
Pixel, yeah.
They same idea. It's all the same idea. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the Kamar. They definitely are. There are gamers out there that have probably moved into the
It's just
military.
one of those moments that Joe says, like, imagine if this is, I'm pretty sure they're doing that, Joe. LiDAR needs to, I want more reports about LiDAR.
Yeah, let's get LiDAR into full effect.
And what it's seeing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in LiDAR this week, I would like to see, like, I don't understand. Like,
LiDAR, radar, sonar, all working.
This is just something of interest that isn't political, and I don't know.
I was listening to this whole thing about the Champ. You know Champ, the sea monster they think lives in Lake Champlain?
Champlain?
No,
he's a fraud.
Yes, I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like the Loch Ness Monster. And they have like sonar from that lake showing like something that is huge and clearly not supposed to be there. Just to your whole LiDAR thing.
I'm in. Have you guys noticed that the internet right now seems a little less inflammatory somehow?
Because Russia's not involved.
They're saying a bunch of troll farms are being shut down and like not getting through.
Interesting.
Like bots
I haven't
and
noticed.
Trolls. No, you're not on.
My feed is so fucking
Curated.
to things I don't even that I looked at once.
Because you don't like anything.
That's why you can't look at anything.
I watched a golf video once, and
you're a golf
now
guy.
I am I need tutorial in every aspect of golf, apparently.
Did both you guys see Above the Law?
Oh my God, I don't even remember. I mean,
I've seen a bunch of Seagal movies.
Have you seen Marked for Death? Screwface, give me 1,000 more times. That was the one they couldn't mention.
Do you know what I got to say about this? I was thinking about this week. A lot of our listeners are obviously younger than us. Joe is obviously older than us. Joe constantly is at the point now where he's referencing movies that are like becoming older and older. You constantly do this where you're like, as if you haven't seen this. And then we do the year and it's like, oh, it came out in 86. And I'm like, yeah, I was born in 1983. So again, I guarantee you this movie came out when I was like 6, but let's do Marked for Death.
I mean, I'm sure I've seen them both, but I cannot remember either one of them. I don't know what the production is like. I don't know if
This is going to be super interesting.
It would just be a shot in the dark.
I wish they'd mentioned Under Siege.
From Matt and Simon to Rack that brings together the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE Movie Game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game. Welcome back, everybody. Where Matt and Simon go head to head, find out what year a movie came out and how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing Marked for Death. Screwface, give me 1,000 more deaths. The Jamaican, West African, Caribbean crew rolls into town, and DEA agent troubleshooter Steven Seagal, what's his real name? I don't know. John Hatcher has to come in and sort it out. It was super fun and super exciting.
So funny you mentioned Under Siege because I remember going to see it in theaters with my dad because we used to go see tons of action movies. And the next day I go to school and this guy's like, oh, you went and saw Under Siege? I was like, yeah. He's like, is it good? I was young. I was like, yeah, it was okay, whatever. He's like, I wanted to see it, but I hate Steven Seagal. And I was like, oh, go see it. Like, you have to go see it. And he was like, why? I was like, trust me. Because Steven Seagal gets killed, I think 7 minutes into the movie. Like, just ripped out the bottom of the plane.
This isn't what?
Under Siege.
No.
Which is...
He's on Under Siege. He's on a boat. And Gary Busey and
what's the one I'm thinking of where he's on a plane?
I don't know.
Well, Google it for me because I'm going to be fucking curious.
We'll work it out here while you guys are getting your guests. This is directed by Dwight H. Little, starring Michael Gray, Steven Seagal, and Mark Victor. But in Under Siege has one of the greatest boob scenes in movie history. When they've taken over the boat and she jumps out of the cake. And she is a beautiful girl.
It's amazing. It's amazing what you remember.
Obviously, it wouldn't be a Steven Seagal, like, he's not the lead of the movie.
He's not?
Well, of the movie where he dies in the first 7 minutes.
Yeah, he is.
Well, how does he die in the
Maybe
first
it's a
7 minutes? Then
flashback.
is he a ghost?
I'm telling you, I'm not fucking making this up. I think that's it. It's called Executive Decision.
There you go.
That's not is it a Steven Seagal movie?
Well, it's a Kurt Russell, but Steven Seagal is.
He's the bad guy.
No, Steven Seagal's not the bad guy.
No?
No.
Okay.
That was a particular genre, though, when we were younger, is one guy
Taking on the
was able
world.
to do
Yeah.
Dirty
Chuck
Harry,
Norris,
Steven Seagal, Chuck
yeah.
Norris. And, you know, I agree with Joe. At the time, it seemed like this Steven Seagal guy's for real. Like, some guys are acting as tough guys, but this guy's a really tough guy, and then he's just morphed into a meme, as everyone does. You guys have a year?
Yeah, I have a year. I'm just Simon. When you said shot in the dark, like I'm taking a total fucking shot in the dark. I said 89.
I said 88.
1990. You guys
It's
are
fucking
so
ridiculous.
close.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is
when
where
you
we get
are.
It's so funny
This-
too.
this
I was on
can't
the
be
edge.
right.
I was like, was this in the 90s? And then I said, no, Matt. It's got to be like a. Yeah.
I'm really glad you guys came along, anyways. And thank you, everyone listening, playing at home.
Okay, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah,
I'm
and
ready.
guys, post on the Reddit or post somewhere if you guess legitimately what you get. I like seeing that.
I'll go first since
No,
I'm
hold
ready.
on.
Oh,
One sec.
Have some decorum, sir.
I'm sorry.
This is a game.
Sorry.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Go ahead, Simon. Sure.
I said it cost $12 million to make because I figured Steven Seagal would give himself a fat ass paycheck.
I like that he decides what he gets paid.
And I said it made $85 million, but it seems like a lot now that I think about it.
I couldn't get a read off Kamar there, but I had already written my numbers down. I said 17.8, so we're pretty close there, and 49.8.
That seems better.
Budget $12 million.
This is insane.
This is the weirdest one though, because you know what, like numbers, box office $58 million.
Whoa, I was.
85. I'm not that.
I had
No, you're
49.
there,
You're close,
but
yeah.
85, 58.
If we combine our shit, we're
Serving
like bang
public, lick the serve pub ant. You know, you're just trying to make connections.
No.
The listeners know. That's the movie
on.
game.
He was like Michael Scott there with his words. So disrespect.
Inter-ant. Like they were all just words that kind of made sense.
TV programming, program in. Like, I'm just making fun of something stupid.
Whatever, let him go.
That's the movie game. Oh yeah, I really appreciate you guys giving that a shot. And look how close you got. Can you think of any legit movie guys that we didn't mention?
Movie guys?
Just like guys who are real like badasses in real life, like because you know that happens in rap a lot too, right?
What?
Like, do you think
Guys
Clint?
are thugs, but they're not really
You
thugs.
think
yeah.
Clint Eastwood
Yes.
is really like a manly
Yes,
man?
yes.
Yeah, you think that?
That's what I want to say, but it's a man's man.
Like
or
Russell
whatever it is.
Crowe seems
Yes,
to me like
yes,
he'd be.
Yes, I think Russell Crowe would punch you out. Sean Penn, although Sean Penn's like 5 feet tall.
don't know if
he
Sean-
was in the day.
In the rap game, 50 Cent like was that guy.
50
Sean-
Cent is that guy.
Sean
Yeah.
Penn really always like. He's really into a lot of things.
Yeah,
Like, there's a lot of stories about him out there.
yeah.
Do you know he was locked up one night in L.A. County Prison, next to who is it? Robert Rodriguez, the Strangler.
This is what I'm saying. And then he was involved in bringing down the.
El Chapo.
I think Sean
He's in
Penn
Ukraine
is
right
a
now?
fucking CIA
I knew
agent.
that was
Yeah,
coming.
there is no doubt about that, man. Now that I'm thinking about
Harrison
it.
Ford.
What about Harrison Ford?
Do you think he is that guy? I mean, he's crashed 3 planes.
Well, he was a handyman on the set of.
So being a hands-on carpenter, blue
Yeah.
collar, that helps
Yeah.
a lot. I think who was I going to think about? I think like
you know who seems like that is Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. I think maybe even Daniel Craig.
But Tom Hardy is gay, isn't he?
I was just gonna say I wasn't gonna say he's gay. I was gonna say
Isn't that the
It's been
rumor, though?
rumors that Tom
I
Hardy's
hope he's gay.
yeah.
That means I have a chance.
I mean, listen, gun to my head, I had to fuck a dude or get fucked by a dude. It's probably him. I know yours is Timothy Oliphant, so it's not
Like-
even. We don't even need to go
And
there.
he'd be way gentler. Just
Henry Rollins.
also a manly man, I would imagine.
Henry Rollins is that guy,
If you mean like super weirdo that you don't want to,
but not pretend to be a hardcore.
But
disciplined
we're
kind of guy.
always wrong. And perfect example,
Go on.
Christopher Moltisanti.
There's no thug in him at all?
Zero.
He's a total actor. He's a thespian.
He's such a great actor that he made you believe in real life he would have been,
Yeah, I don't believe Vin Diesel is that guy.
You don't think Vin Diesel is that guy? What about The Rock? You think he's that guy?
I think he is that guy. Hawaiians.
DaBaby.
I think DaBaby is that guy.
Oh, we're just talking about like singers now?
Well, no, he was saying anyway.
I haven't crossed
Well,
over. I got lost in it.
is 50 Cent that guy?
I said him.
always said
I
he
said
did.
him off the
He's
jump.
that
He was the
guy.
first person I said was that guy.
Too Short is that guy.
I mean, this is the thing. In rap, there's a lot of people that are
Yeah,
that
that's
guy.
different. That's different. Rap is different.
I brought up Henry Rollins because I was trying to go down that road. Like I think Axl Rose sort of was that guy. Just like fuck you or whatever.
On the topic, Freddie Gibbs is that guy.
Freddie Gibbs is that guy. And back to Freddie Gibbs. Thank God Matt's here. He doesn't want to be rapping is hard in that it's so much of his irrelevance thing. Because he's talking about he wants to be an actor. He's about to retire from rap. Like,
Actually, you know what? Freddie Gibbs is not that guy.
he's not that guy.
No, but Freddie Gibbs raps almost solely about selling cocaine, and I'm not certain he was like.
I think he was.
Wow, we're just checking
Well,
ourselves.
no, and hear me out, because he went to the military, and it was in the military, I'm pretty sure, where he started rapping, where he was like, "Oh, I could just make money doing this."
I
was
I
young.
actually don't know, so whatever. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know his story.
I was gonna say you're calling me out. Actually, I believe you're incorrect on Freddie
Yeah,
Gibbs.
I am definitely
I love
not.
it. I love
I am definitely not.
Way
correct.
out of your
I love how you
wheelhouse.
change your mind in 5 seconds there.
Well, I'll admit when I'm wrong.
I love it.
What I meant by Freddie Gibbs is that guy is I think I more mean it like he's exactly who he comes off as, who he seems. You know what I mean? Like the dude you hear on this episode, that's Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah, you didn't mean in his music. You meant this guy we saw.
Yeah.
on Rogan.
He's not fronting.
But I think with 50 Cent, I meant he is like what he raps about. He's that dude. Like, oh, I'll just come and if you want it, I'll come and I got it.
Jamie Foxx is that guy, I think.
Let's do enough with this guy.
Simon's not that guy.
I am not that guy.
Sorry about that. Freddie Gibbs will be interesting. His movies are going to come out.
What are his movies?
One's a vampire movie, he said.
yeah,
and the
that
other one,
sounds
he
cool.
plays a manager in a casino.
Did I ever talk about that vampire movie that takes place in Alaska? I think I did.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Excellent, excellent.
Also, I feel like I kind of willed. I mentioned Freddie Gibbs last week.
You did. I thought of that too, actually.
It's
Matt.
hardcore, man.
Yeah. I feel like you see people are coming and then insert it into the conversation so then you can then pat yourself on the back later on.
Just
I can't get a dub on this show. Like even my like half legit like it's always called into question. I think Matt might be CIA now that we're here.
I wasn't going to go as far as CIA, but if there was like a lesser group, I might have gone there.
But you will see if Freddie Gibbs,
A CIB.
if Freddie Gibbs turns into that guy in the Wu-Tang show. That like it'll be a bummer if he's a bad actor.
Why? Freddie Gibbs is in the Wu-Tang show?
No, he's saying if he ends up being a bad actor.
Oh.
Because we like Freddie Gibbs, right?
Yeah, I love Freddie
Yeah,
Gibbs.
yeah.
As a rapper, I like him. I don't know about an actor. Like maybe he's.
I thought he was great
we'll
in
find
this
out.
episode. He was funny.
So we'll see. We'll see. Kobe happened like right before the pandemic, right? That's just a weird thing. Then it's 2 years.
It is kind of forgotten.
But what people?
No, I watch a
famous
lot of
people
basketball.
die,
It's
Yeah,
still.
it's-
It's still. They speak about it all
and
the
there's
time.
change awards. And
I don't know. Because Kobe was like one of those guys who he was used in commercials and movies and guest spots. And he was just like, when you thought basketball, he was one of those players.
Because he came in so young, he was like a real trailblazer.
Well, he played against Jordan, and he like played against. Like think about it. He played against Jordan, and then every good player up until a couple years ago. Don't forget too. That happened like while we were doing a show.
Kobe was alive and died while this podcast has been on.
No, what I meant was like we were doing a show, and I remember I pulled up my phone and was like, "Holy shit, Kobe
Oh,
Bryant!" Like
real
Kobe
time.
Bryant just died. Yeah,
And so it was on the podcast.
it is. Yeah, we have
Breaking
that,
news.
yeah.
Well, but it's not because it's
But
2 days
Simon-
later.
I guess I feel it just doesn't. I don't know. Like I feel more people still talk about like La Bamba and Buddy Holly dying in the plane crash than you would about Kobe. But maybe that's because
Well,
he
it was
an
just mentioned on the
athlete.
Joe Rogan
and we
Experience.
just went through a pandemic.
Simon, the 75th anniversary of the NBA was they just had it at the All-Star game, and Kobe was like a huge talking point.
I mean, that makes sense.
I hope that show is going to be fantastic.
What show?
The Lakers show.
Yeah. it
With,
looks good.
you know, who it is? One of the guys from Step Brothers.
One of the
C.
guys.
C. Riley.
Yeah,
John
yeah.
C.
He's
John
C.
hilarious.
Reilly.
He's the owner of the Lakers.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good.
Jerry West, is that who he
Jerry
plays?
Buss.
Jerry West. Thank you.
Jerry Bust.
Jerry West was a player. Jerry Buss.
No, Jerry West, and then went on to own them, no?
Jerry-
Hold on a second.
Jerry Buss, because Jeannie Buss currently owns the company.
So who's Jerry West? He was the general manager?
Jerry West was a legendary Laker, if I'm not mistaken. But you can pull it up. Just say, "Hey Siri, who's Jerry
I got
West?"
it. Jerry, American basketball executive and former player. Yeah, but what does he do for the Lakers now?
So check out Buss, B-U-S-S. He's the owner of the Lakers, or was. He's deceased now. His daughter owns it.
It really doesn't matter.
Whatever. This is
It's
what
gonna be a
old
show.
people do. We fucking we get something stuck in our craw
Well,
and we don't
I'm
move
trying
on
to
until we.
transition like they transition out of this stuff into discovering faraway lands. That kind of like, how hard would it for someone to say, get on this boat, where's it going? We don't know.
Yeah.
And there may not be anything out there.
It's crazy.
I've heard there's land. If you go that way and you blow off that way, you're going to hit a big piece of ice and you're all going to die.
Not to mention, we all think about it like in modern day terms. Like, okay, so we're getting on this boat and we have food for everyone for the entirety of the trip, right? Like,
Does everyone have their electric heaters?
yeah, no, it's like you're getting on a shitty wooden boat.
A shitty wooden boat. And no one can help you once.
Not to mention.
But it's sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
It's one thing to be like, you know, you live in Ireland and you're going to go to America. You know America exists. It's a place. You know it's out there.
At one point, no.
At one point, no. That's what I'm saying. Some people had to go out and just get in that boat and go. And they could have come to the edge of the earth for all they knew.
Or they did.
Well, they didn't.
Well, that's
because we know that
Antarctica,
some
right?
people made
If
it.
there was an ice wall, allegedly. Did you guys? They were talking about how Sir Isaac Newton was a virgin,
Okay.
and that maybe like certain people from fucking, it distracts them and they don't do the best work they could. Like
Or
maybe that's
maybe
a
the
thing.
opposite is true.
If they didn't bust a nut, they would make the breakthrough. No, I think that pent up, not getting laid energy is a serious drive.
I know-
Especially if you didn't
I know
jerk
some-
off. Football impacts are insane. That's the one thing I noticed this year. Like, even though they changed the rules, it just happens. Do you know what I mean? Or, sorry I said that. I'm finna fix that. But
No.
crazy collisions happen in football.
The
Yes.
NFL you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and like just crazy. Like you realize you would be like in a dead if that was happening to you. I think they should take the helmets away
I agree.
in some weird transition way to assault. Like
The helmets are a weapon at this point.
it adds to what the athlete has to do to avoid from smacking their head versus like I'm going to smack it anyways.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, how many rugby players just hold rugby beside the NFL and look at CTE numbers?
I bet you it's shocking. And they're talking about fighting. There is fighting in rugby. I've seen it many times. And they like, guy just hits a guy too hard. Another guy comes punch in the face, or they fight, and they go and literally call it a sin bin for like 2 minutes in back of the game. Just like in hockey, and there are lots of black hockey players.
Okay, I think lots of is a little bit of a
There's
misnomer.
There's probably not even like 2%.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's lots.
There's more now than there were.
Yeah.
Before there was 0.0002%.
So would it be like black guys in hockey to Asian guys in basketball, or white guys in basketball? Because I think NBA is 70-30.
We got to realize there's a
Well,
lot of
except
hold on.
other-
Basketball is different. There's a lot of European guys killing it now, and most of them are white. Or I mean, Giannis is black, so he's a European. But there's a lot of white guys still in basketball, but it's still a predominantly black sport. And Asians, there's hardly any.
But what do you think the black to other is, percentage wise?
In what, basketball?
Probably the same, 1 or 2%, something like that.
White, you think?
Yeah.
No.
Other is everything but black. Just
Oh, in basketball?
in basketball.
Hold on. Other than black.
Yes.
Oh, well, then it's like 40%. 60-40.
60 are black, 40 is other.
That's what.
Yeah.
And then with hockey, 10% are
5%.
other.
No, 2% are
10% are
Simon.
black and
2% are black, and
90
the rest are white.
98% are white.
Yes. I love that they all thought that Russia invented hockey. That was fucking priceless.
That's interesting. Well, it came from lacrosse, right?
No, they said it started in England.
That's what they said, but I don't believe that.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
We have like whalebone skates over here, bro.
Or what if it was invented?
Skates that were whalebone bladed.
That
I
doesn't
don't
have
think they
anything to do
were
with hockey.
Doing that over. Oh, if there were skates, there were hockey.
Oh,
There was
okay.
hockey.
Hockey was invented by some guys who wanted to trash a curling rink.
Yeah, let's
And,
fucking.
and we're
yeah.
using the stones as pucks. But like George LaRocque
Yeah.
was a decent hockey player who knocked guys out.
He was not a great hockey player.
We also watched like a hate crime, a hate crime like 20 years ago
He got
occur
hate
on the
crime.
ice. What?
These guys should
He
know.
got hit with the hockey stick in
Yeah,
the head.
McSorley, remember?
Was that he hit George LaRocque?
It wasn't George LaRocque. He
No.
hit another African-American gentleman.
Anson
Brashear.
Carter,
It was Brashear, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Donald Brashear.
But he two-hand like hacked
it
him
was
in the
crazy.
head
and
from
that's
behind.
happened twice in the NHL.
Grant
I
Fuhrer.
believe so, yeah. Grant Fuhrer, yeah.
What did Grant Fuhrer do?
Evander Kane. No,
Oh, you're
I'm just
thinking
trying to
of
list
black
off
hockey players?
So you're right. You're right.
There aren't many.
It's,
Yes.
it's 90. It's 5% black.
Not
Yes.
5.
95%.
I
I was
don't
going to
think
say
it's
5 is
I
very
don't-
generous.
Look it up, Jamie. Okay, we'll move on.
Either way, basketball I think is 70-30.
Yeah,
That's about right to me.
they talked about the Emergency Act, and now we know what a real emergency is, right?
Do we?
Like if a country runs in your country and tries to take it over, that's
Yeah.
a real emergency.
Yeah, that is an emergency, yeah. Uh-oh, Simon's here we go.
I forgot I was on camera.
You can't cross your arms.
No.
Well, you do your best to like. This happens every time. I set the camera. I go, "Well, Simon, you good?" And you go,
And then I push
"Yeah,
back and
yeah."
back
And then
and
you
back.
push back about 1.5 feet and end up off the screen, and I look like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Okay, disclaimer. Matt knows what he's doing.
No.
Simon also knows what he's doing.
I know. Yes, I'm aware.
Wink, wink. Let's go, Kamar.
And they talked
You're,
about.
there's some real good stuff at the end of this episode.
I hope I didn't miss it. You have to talk about Ukraine and like. Have you noticed that there's still people like living day to day?
Yeah,
Again,
Are they? I,
don't-
have no
don't know
idea what
footage
the
you're seeing from
fuck
where.
is going on.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of different things. I'm seeing people driving tractors with tanks attached to them. I'm seeing protests. I'm seeing rallies. I'm seeing like
It's the first.
bombed out cities.
It's the first. I think Joe said hot war of our lifetime.
Well, no, Afghanistan and Iraq.
Those
were
are
both-
invasions. We're not taking over this country. We're just going to destabilize it and stay here for 20 years.
No,
I
but
mean, is that what Russia's
they-
intention is?
They were still fighting other people. They
With-
didn't just walk in and
With the people, 3 years later, they had to fight.
Again-
It's just garbage. This is one country taking over another country.
Okay, so yes, it's been a long time since we've seen
arguing.
that. Yeah.
And the world's position is to sit back and we'll give you money and food, but and bullets, but we can't help you. Good luck. And they're talking about the guys in Doctor Strangelove, the war rooms
If
right now.
you, Kamar Hargadon, were a world leader, how would you handle this situation?
How much money is this going to cost, guys?
What does that
Between
mean?
Russia and Ukraine,
yeah.
somebody can be bought off.
Oh,
That's
no.
what you're saying?
All this money spent, or what do you want? How do we make this? Because it feels like these things are happening, and the sides don't talk. Because
Come on, keep that mic a little. There you go.
there was a time
Thank you.
when communication would be very difficult, say in World War II, right? To communicate, now it's not.
Okay, but Kamar, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that Justin Trudeau could go to Vladimir Putin and at a time like this or period and have any sort of sway as to what he does? Let me ask you this. If you let's play in Simon's world. You're the leader of Canada because that's where we live and it's the only place you could be the leader of. Or your buddy at the comedy thing
Kevin.
last night. Kevin, yeah, shout out Kevin. Yeah, what would you do? Like Simon said, how do you? There's nothing you can do, right?
No, but this is like if everybody goes to war against Russia, if Canada gets troops in there and everybody puts troops in, all these countries in NATO, I mean, what does Russia do at that point? Don't they have to fight even harder?
They have to use a nuke. And
So,
that's what they got to
so
hear.
like, it doesn't take like a rocket scientist to see how this is going to play out. I'm just wondering what the alternative is.
He's going to take over Ukraine, and everyone's just going to hate Russia for 10 years.
I
and
have,
they'll be
dude,
forgotten.
I have no idea.
No, you-
like, I'm
you
not
just
claiming
said
to know.
You know how this is going to play out, and I thought that's what you meant.
Simon, there's also a chance.
Did I say I know how this was going to play out?
You said
Oh, it doesn't take a
NATO
rocket
can't-
scientist to see how this is going to play out. No, I just meant, look,
Put your feet back
if
up.
you fight Russia, if you push Vladimir Putin further back into a corner, you either better be able to take him out,
Yeah.
or that's not the right course of action, obviously.
And I would be like, Vladimir, you want this much land? Vladimir will give you $100 billion. Ukraine will be the richest country in the world. Because this money's being spent. And also realize we're sending a bunch of lethal weapons or lethal force. I don't know, which is money, bullets. All this stuff will now have to be replaced. Like, so all the weapons companies right now, they're high-fiving each other in an office somewhere. Like, finally, geez. Because all this stuff has now been spent and will have to be replaced, and they'll have to order more because this could happen again.
Yeah, but see, I'm
And
glad you
when
brought
it's
this.
it's a lot. That's a lot of money.
That was one point I wanted to bring up, though. We always do this where we talk about the military-industrial complex, which obviously has been spoken about. It's clearly a problem, but then we act like we haven't been at war in one way or another for the 2,000, 4,000 years before that.
Well, we have to always be in war for this to be a complex, but this is like,
Yeah,
this is boom times in the weapons manufacture business.
Well, all exploration ended up with war, right? Like they saw where it was,
This
and
is
then
what
they invaded the people. Is
you
that what
talked
you
about-
meant?
You talked about
2,000
this
years
episode.
of
They
war?
talked about it in this.
But I'm just
episode.
saying, in general, like before there was the military-industrial complex, before there was any money, and like I mean, I guess there's always money involved in war but I guess there isn't because if you have
The
slaves,
accumulation of new land, you get all the
I
spoils.
get it. But my
resources.
point, though, Simon, is that we've always been at war with each other. There didn't need to be money. There didn't need to be money involved. Like,
I think it was always over money, power, something.
well, power, sure,
Not just because
or
we
land.
disagree.
But, well, I mean, you act like we
Guess that's
don't
what the
go to
Civil
war
War-
because we disagree.
Well, I
American
don't
Civil
think
War was
it
that.
has changed very much at all in 5,000, 10,000 years. I imagine that humans just have this human trait of
Yeah.
wanting more than we have right now. And that may be a deficiency in us, or that may be like the thing that really makes us different than the rest of the animals out there. Wow, that's fucking poignant, man.
Like the ultimate.
His feet are going back up for sure.
The ultimate thing of like if social justice, its goal would be there be no militaries, right? Like that's sort of what, because that's what I think. There's no way anyone can fight with bad weapons because everyone's happy, which would be the Great Reset. Would be like maybe China is running the planet, but there's abundance, and you know what I mean. That could be the best outcome.
Like if they said if Russia wins the war, then all drugs are legal now. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Or like he said this, I was thinking how to say this, and I'll just cancel myself. He was like, if Hitler had won, the world would be fucked. And I was thinking, if Hitler won, the world would be fucked for maybe you and me, but it might be good for Matt. You know what I mean? It's just a white utopia. But obviously, it's better.
Right. It's all perspective.
It's not I wanted him to win because it'd be a better world. It'd just be a different
It
world.
would be Matt's world.
It'd be Matt's world. And there'd be no white privilege. Ah, shit.
Because everybody was white. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But it just wouldn't work. You know, utopias,
I was
however you try to get there, are
thinking
oxymorons.
I was
Told you to
thinking
read
ab-
that book.
I was thinking about Operation Paperclip.
I'm sure
They
you
talked
think about
about
it
it.
often.
Did they talk about it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why I was thinking about it.
I think
then.
so.
Maybe I wasn't even thinking about it. Maybe it was something I heard on this podcast.
That is what we do here.
Anyways, so they took in all these Nazi scientists and people, like some of them, granted, I imagine, were people who were just normal German scientists who were recruited by the Nazis. That happened for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them we know, like Werner.
I'd say most of them we know were Nazis, like racists.
Well,
think
I
we
don't know
that.
how many. They took hundreds of German scientists.
It was the whole country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what Simon's saying is there were people that fought that weren't necessarily sympathetic to the Nazi plight. They had to fight because they were German, and that's how that
I
shit
don't
went.
think so. I think that's the whole scary part about it. Everyone thought they were doing the best thing for Germany.
I disagree.
I don't know.
Okay, either way.
A large portion of them were, Kamar. You're right,
But that's the scary part of it all. Not
But
just Hitler.
like Simon's saying, if you're a scientist and the Nazis come to you and they say you're either going to continue working on rockets or we fucking execute your family and you,
Yeah.
you're going to keep working on fucking
that's a story.
rockets.
That's a story worth telling.
Well, you have a decision to make. Anyways, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So they take these scientists over. Basically, they were like, you lost 6 million people. Your religion or race or whatever you want to call it was nearly wiped off the face of the earth. Here's Israel. You won't have to deal with any Nazis there. But here, you're going to have to abide by some Nazis. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't go out of their way. I guess my point is, Matt, they didn't go out of their way to hide the fact that Werner von Braun was a
statue.
Nazi. They made statues about him. All of these guys, they all became prominent players. They didn't...
Simon, I
What
said
you
that
trying to
last
say-
They said to the Jews, like, you're welcome to live in America, but there's going to be a lot of Nazis here, you know?
Simon, I said it last week. Like, it would be one thing if they had just kept these guys in a basement somewhere. You know what I mean? Made a little...
Which would have been well within their rights, Matt.
I'm just saying, like, they make a little community in Nevada, way the fuck out, and they just have these guys continuing to work on U.S. rocketry, whatever, and you never hear about them. You never know them. They're each named John Doe.
I think the term is POW.
Exactly. You don't make statues of them.
I think you guys both just said that not all Nazis are bad people.
This is what I'm saying.
No, what I said was-
they're all bad
No,
people.
no,
I'm
no.
saying there were different ways that people became Nazis.
Yeah.
Some of them hated Jews and wanted to go out there and kill Jews.
Those are the worst
Some of them
ones.
got swept up in German pride, and
Those are the
some
less worse ones.
some of them were threatened, like Matt said. Like there was a plethora of reasons.
Kamar.
And that reminds me
Kamar.
of Trump saying good
They were
people
all-
on both
they were
sides.
all-
Kamar,
bad.
95 to 98% of them were terrible people that wanted terrible things. There's obviously some people that got... There's no way you
I
can
don't
just...
think so.
Again,
You think 100% of people that fought in that war for them were just...
No, I'd say 25% of them were really bad people.
Okay.
And the rest got swept up with them,
Okay.
thinking they were doing the right thing.
I mean, again, we know that the SS were like the absolute worst, and
And Hugo Boss designed their clothing.
and
And I'm sure
everybody
he was
wears
like,
it with
hey,
pride.
Hey,
and,
I think what you guys are doing wrong, but I'll make your pants.
and Volkswagen made all their tanks and or Jeeps or whatever, not tanks. And that they still exist. Like I said, here's Israel. That's your problem now. You're not going to have to deal with Nazis there. But in the United States, you are going to abide by some Nazis.
I mean, either way, though, you could, like you said, history dictates it all. They could be like, if they had won, it would be like Ford. They made cars for the Allies. You know what I mean? Like it's a...
And I'm sure they would have done that.
Of course they would have, yeah.
Anyways, it's just interesting to me. It's like, it's a big,
That's because you're Juden.
well, yeah, I mean, nobody
And-
else thinks about
And
it.
also, what people thought about it then was so much more limited information.
Well, yeah, and I wonder how many people would have even cared. Like,
If you don't know,
I just mean, like, you were in the States. How much information really was there at that point? You know, would you have made a big deal about
I
this
wonder
scientist guy?
if it started word of mouth. apparently you hear what's going on in Germany right now, and that sort of buzz or the news expose was the first time the New York Wall Street Junior or whatever you want to call it.
Wall Street Junior.
Well, you would have heard it through the news, and that, like
That
you said,
newspaper burger.
it wouldn't have been a lot. Like, how much news was there?
Well, forget
And
news
to
though.
now-
No one knew they brought those Nazis over for like 20 years.
Oh no, he's talking about the war.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Yeah, of course.
nobody. Well, I mean, did they not? Like Werner von Braun? Of course, no, they did.
and what about
No, it took-
Argentina?
he didn't get exposed until like it took a while for him to get exposed.
But I mean, there would have been plenty of
What
people
about
working with
What about
him. Like,
Argentina?
how could you possibly keep that a secret? That is almost like having Hitler working for you. You know,
Well, they did it.
like shave your mustache, buddy. You'll be fine. Nobody will ever know.
And they tried to hunt
Sounds
them
like-
all down, right?
Well, that's what we think.
If that's like a good word.
Well, no, I think the Jews hunted most
That's
of them
true.
down.
And brought
I
them-
don't think
and
the
brought-
Americans did shit for shit.
and the
I think the Mossad did all, or it wasn't even the Mossad. It was some other
it was
group.
more a revenge thing rather than the Hague.
It's also a weird flex.
It was, we as Jews will not abide by Nazis. It's like the flip side, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, also the Americans came in and won the war, so it's tough to argue that they should then keep hunting Nazis down ad nauseum, right? Like they did their part.
Yeah, I guess. And like I said, they had most of them working for them, so they obviously didn't give a fuck.
No.
Like it wasn't.
Yeah, but the U.S. has always.
It was
I mean,
never. It wasn't
Simon.
about them doing the right thing, obviously, because they turned around, took whatever they needed, whether these guys had killed. Like, Werner von Braun's death toll, just him, was substantial.
yeah, but the West has always. You always do this too. You start the podcast off like talking like this, then you get worked up. The thing is, oh fuck! Now I forget my point. Who cares?
The West.
Yeah, the West always does what's best for the West. So if that means bringing over a few Nazi scientists, we're going to do that. 10 times out of 10. That's just how we roll.
I think we're in agreement on this.
Yeah, let's move
They
on.
talked
Like I
about
said,
they talked
there's good
about
stuff coming.
they talked about legalizing
Maybe.
drugs, which we always talk about, and then they talked about Kyle versus Jamie golf tournament, and I'm pro Jamie. Fuck Kyle. I don't know where you guys sit.
Well, you don't like Kyle, right?
You also don't know anything about either of their golf games, so it's a weird flex.
Well, you guys seem like this. Hey, this is a financial.
Well, do you want to put money
transaction,
on
got
it?
no
Yeah, do you want to
information.
put money on it?
Well, sure,
blind. That would
sure,
be interesting for
sure,
you
I'll put
too.
$10 on.
No,
Jamie.
it has to be more than that.
Wow, wait a
It
second.
has
this
to
is
be
for
more
fun.
than
What
that.
is he
I'm
doing
betting
here?
blind too here, asshole. What's going on?
Yeah,
Like,
put
Simon
something
needs-
substantial. on
Simon
the
needs a
line.
taste. There's no stakes.
I love that Simon's going to be,
$50 for you two.
knowing Simon, he's going to be like, look, you each put 50 up, okay?
Yeah,
Winner takes
$50.
80, and I get 20 just for being here.
Oh my
$50.
God,
I got
Matt,
$50 on
I'm
Jamie.
My
running
mind.
the bet.
I got
of course.
$50 on
I'm going to
Jamie.
make sure that it's paid.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to worry about running down Kamar for your money.
Gotcha. The money
I'm
sits
gonna
in
take
escrow
care
with
of that.
Simon. Yeah.
So, anyways, back to this $80 bet.
$50 bet.
$40 bet.
But what the other thing I want to
It's a
say
$50
is
bet.
when Joe was talking about it, he said he's gonna be there for it.
Yeah.
and that's what he's gonna get.
That's
a
he's
bug.
gonna get
It's
hooked.
like catching COVID,
Yeah.
catching golf. I swear to God,
It just takes that one time at the
don't
driving
do it,
range,
Joe.
man.
Don't do it. You can't know.
If Joe swung a club and hit it and it went clink, you know those moments, Kamar, where you just hit the
totally
ball
fuck it
so
up.
pure.
Oh,
No. So pure, and
Pure
you
it.
get the noise the driver was supposed to make.
Yeah.
That would hook Joe, because that is one of the most satisfying moments in anything I've ever done.
But I think like a little kid going up and just puring a ball.
That's what I'm
in front of
saying.
Joe.
Oh, wow. Oh, gotcha.
You'd be like, wow, the execution, the performance, the intelligence. There's some artistry to it. He goes up and just duffs it. That's when he's hooked.
No.
I can't even do this thing a little kid just did beautifully. That's what I think it is.
I disagree. He doesn't care if Joe. Your argument is like if Joe watched a little kid hoof a 40-yard field goal,
He'd
he
have
would
to hoof
automatically
field.
then.
Yes, it is.
No.
I think any grown man, that's how it is. I don't think he'll be able to help himself. It's just like when he saw someone do the bow, and then he did the bow. Oh, I got to get good at this. We'll see.
Oh, I agree. Didn't I call this shit? I said Joe would be golfing.
Stay
We
away
had
from the
we
course,
had a
Joe.
very long golf talk last week.
Stay away
very
from the course,
long.
Joe.
Go on. Get to it. Get to the good stuff.
They're going to the club.
The comedy mothership.
I don't know. Did he say to Brian Moses, you can come anytime with your roast battle? Or did he say Freddie Gibbs, you can come and rap anytime?
No, he said
Brian Moses.
Moses. Is it called the comedy mothership or just the mothership?
The comedy mothership.
I like just
Or
the
maybe
mothership.
comedy mothership. Maybe there's no the. Maybe scratch the.
But do we think it's going to be a multi-room thing?
He said 2 rooms.
Just 2 rooms?
Just 2 rooms. He said one of them was holds 250, I think, and one of them holds 100 or something.
Anyways, we need another 250,000 Patreons because I got to get down there.
You need to get down.
You
to
think
Austin.
you need $100,000
No,
to get
we all need that. But
just to get yourself to Austin? That's a lucrative trip, Kamar.
no, but I don't want to stay at like a 2-star
Oh, I
hotel.
got you.
I don't know if you
I don't wanna
noticed,
suffer.
but his name was on the marquee.
I saw, yeah, and it's getting to his
So
head.
he's a
Fuck
fucking
off.
paid performer.
Yeah.
If it's not $100,000, it just
Yeah,
isn't
I ain't
worth
even
his
showing
time.
up.
Did you
Yeah.
see it with your own eyes?
I saw it. Yeah,
I
I
saw it
drove
with
by
my
it.
It
own
hits
eyes.
different, eh?
It's
Than the me
different.
posting on the thing. That's real. And it lights up at night. It was so much fun.
Congratulations, kid.
They were talking about like a lot of black guys, like rappers, whatever, have guns, and I think it's safe to say like any pickup truck in America has a gun. Like country guys have shotguns. Like I don't think it is a racial thing. It's just an American thing. All the white guys.
There are just a lot of guns.
There's a lot of guns. It's not. I wouldn't put this just on the black people.
When a
Violence.
lot of guns exist, a lot of people are going to have guns.
By the way, someone wrote in, the U.S. has more stabbings per million than the U.K. In regards to our conversation about the cops not carrying guns over there and there being more stabbings. There are more stabbings in the U.S. per million.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying that's an interesting stat. I wouldn't have thought that because I always thought that.
I mean, you can't get rid of knives.
Of course not.
Anybody can take their kitchen butcher knife and do the same damage they would do with a Rambo knife.
Dude, I could stab you with a cafeteria fucking
It's
fork.
more violent though
It's the
than shooting someone.
you have to be deprived to fucking stab someone.
There's so much. It's so involved.
Well, you
That's
have to
different.
feel
That's like a
that
cut,
knife
dude, to
go
stab-
in.
yeah.
Why,
you
is that a
know?
machete or is it?
Well, that's different too.
I don't like it.
Anyways.
I
Dude,
realize.
wait, hold on. I got kicked out of Glebe High School. Sorry, they highly suggested I leave because they were like, "We're gonna kick you out, so you have a choice." Yeah, GLB, fuck the Glebe. So I had to go to Rideau High School, and my first day at Rideau High School, which is like not a great high school in Ottawa, my first day, I'm smoking a cigarette waiting for the bus, and this guy comes up and he's talking to his buddy. He's got a massive gash on his hand, like stitches across his entire hand. He tells a story, and there was a news article about it. He was at one of the bus stations, I think Saint Laurent Station, and these 3 Cambodian guys approached him with a machete to try to rob him, and he took the machete from one of them and stabbed 2 of them, and the third one ran off. And dude, I'm like, I'm at the wrong fucking school. This is fucking bananas.
This was the teacher?
Yeah, it was the teacher.
That's like some Gangster Paradise shit.
Well, and he got off
Not
too
gang-
on self-defense.
What's it called? The movie.
Which movie?
The song for the movie was.
Yeah, Gangster's Paradise.
What's it called? That? No, it was Dangerous Minds. Gangster Minds.
What the fuck was
with
that
Michelle
movie called?
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, with Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't-
Dangerous Minds. Dangerous
There's
Minds.
no way it was called Dangerous Minds.
That's what
really?
it was called. Dangerous Minds. And
That's
we're
the
living in
cheesiest-
a gangster's paradise.
Oh, you might be right. Dangerous. Oh my god, what a cheesy name.
Isn't it Dangerous Minds?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, nice
yeah.
pull. Nice pull.
Okay, Kamar, what do you think the let's me and you quick movie game here?
Just me?
Yeah, just you.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Dangerous Minds?
Yeah. What year did it come out?
Year 1990. No, wait, 1989.
You're way off. 1995.
That's not way off.
Oh, you're like
4
6 years off.
No, you're a professional. You do this all the
Yeah,
time,
well,
man.
I'm telling you what
Way
it's like to be
off.
in the hot seat.
Way off. And
What
I think,
was the
I
movie?
think it cost $25 million to make. It made $240 million.
Oh my God. What was the movie?
Dangerous Minds.
There's no way it cost $25 million. Actually, maybe. Who knows?
Where do you even find this information, Kumar?
Oh, I have
I'm
to
the
do it
amateur
myself?
here. No, I'm looking it up.
God, what kind of movie game is this?
Dangerous Minds. Was that what that movie was called?
That's what we just did. Yes.
I knew it. Well, because I called it Gangster Paradise.
Yeah, I think it cost.
What year did it come out, Simon?
It came out in 2007.
Okay,
You
you're
said it
way
in front
off.
of him when he was
Yeah,
in the
you're
room.
way off.
205.
205 what?
2013.
No.
1996. What was it?
1995.
Yeah,
Oh my
Kumar,
God,
what
it's
did you-
that old.
I said 1994.
Kumar,
No,
what-
I said
no, you
90
With
said
Coolio?
89.
Sorry, 80,
That one?
89. You're right.
With Coolio?
Yeah,
Coolio was not in the movie.
No, but he did the soundtrack.
He did one song.
Yeah,
Gangster's Paradise.
It might have won a Grammy.
One song. It was the title song.
No,
The
song
movie is
wasn't
called Dangerous
Minds.
Minds. It's not called Gangster's Paradise.
Paradise. Yeah.
I know, this is a real Bernstein Bears moment. I understand. We're all having it together.
No,
Anyways.
I knew.
Kumar,
I always knew.
What did you say the budget and the box office were?
It's at 25 million,
Okay, in the box office?
240 million.
You're so close. 23 million to make
Hello.
and 180.
Wow, that's not bad.
Should've
I
gone
wouldn't.
to
Oh, I didn't even give you a
wouldn't have come
chance. Yeah,
close. It
you're
doesn't matter.
terrible.
I would have been terrible.
You wouldn't even, you thought the movie was called Gangster's
You
Paradise.
I
guys-
thought it came out in 2007. I thought it cost $7 million to make, and it grossed $47 million.
You guys make it look easy.
You know what's interesting though? That movie, that song was #1 for like an obscene amount of time. Remember that was,
time
I was gonna say that was a time where songs stayed had serious staying power on the
because there's
fucking,
only so many places you could hear them.
because they only played 20 songs every hour and they were the same fucking songs. How much more you got there, Kumar?
A lot more or nothing. It was a great
lot
episode.
more
I
or
was
nothing?
I was
Is that what
going
you
to I was going to the Princess Bride as a movie game, but
You
I
should
forgot.
have.
Maybe we'll do that in the post, Joe. So sign up for that. Joe has a horrible quote because they were talking about Bill Cosby changed it. The stuntmen were blackface. Do you remember them talking about that?
No, but okay.
Is that up until a point, if there's a guy was a black actor, the white he'd have a white stuntman who were on blackface, and Joe goes, "Let's watch some Al Jolson."
Yeah.
Like leans in.
I know.
Like, you're killing yourself,
Dude,
here,
he did
man.
it. That's what I'm saying. He did it a couple times. Where I was like, Joe, what are you fucking doing here? Like,
Just let these guys give you your rep back.
I never asked to watch Al Jolson.
yeah.
Never. It's like not everything Hitler said was bad. Hugh Hefner.
There's a good
It'd be
soundbite.
like saying that. It'd be like saying that. They talk
It
about
doesn't
Hugh
matter.
Hefner.
I now have the soundbite of you saying everything
Hey,
Hitler
man,
said wasn't
there goes
that
my
bad.
career.
Cancel.
They're talking about Hugh Hefner,
Yeah, what about him?
and it's really starting to come out that it's bad.
That he was
Like,
a bad guy.
But I think when I was a kid, it was cool, and all these girls loved him and everything. But it's a lot more nefarious.
Isn't it more weird for us now to be sitting here like, can you believe that the weird old man who ran a mansion full of young naked women was lecherous? Isn't that weird?
It's weird to think how normal we
at the
just
time?
think that
at
is.
the time,
That there was this Playboy mansion.
This is
that
what I'm
exists.
saying.
Yeah.
Yes. It's only now that we're like, oh my God, can you believe things happen there? Like, dude, he built a grotto. What do you think was going on in there?
Yeah,
This old man was getting his dick sucked.
You don't build grottos for tea parties.
And I
Yeah.
bet he didn't spend a lot of money on soap and shit. I bet it was disgusting.
Of
well,
course
we
it was
know
disgusting.
the place was falling apart. Joe tells that story.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, of course it wasn't a good place.
They popped on the idea of lights, like light in the city changing everything.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It was all darkness, like you just stay in and then you go a bit further and then that lights up.
Electricity made a nightlife possible.
There was no nightlife before the light.
I mean, there were, but
no,
it
there
was
were saloons
candle
that
Just
were-
guys,
yeah.
guys sitting around a fire.
gas. They
Okay,
had,
yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes, yes.
but on a big scale,
Yeah.
it allowed for a lot of
It
things
got-
to happen, for sure.
It got the ball rolling.
Listen, don't forget, we lived through that blackout, and that was like a wake-up call.
And it must have been crazy to go from not having it to having it.
It's a short period of time and a long period of every times.
But for those people who got to experience that must have been a real fucking trip.
Do
You
you
know?
think they felt like they're on a roller coaster? Like, whoa, this is going to slow down.
Well, it must have felt like a real life universe type changing moment. You know, it's like from going from no fire to fire. You know,
Family Guy did a bit where Edison's neighbor from across the street, he's sitting with his family by candlelight, and he looks across the street, and his house is just lit up like a Christmas tree. He's watching TV. He's like, "Fuck you, Edison." Sorry, look, Kamari just hates me.
I think this is the part that Simon's been eager to talk about.
Well, here we go.
What is the number that for you to get paid to watch someone watch you jerk off?
no, this wasn't. But no, that's interesting.
Yeah, what is your number, Simon?
Oh, it would be a fucking lot. I don't know.
No, but monthly. Don't forget, it's monthly. We're not talking about a one-time fee. right? Like we're talking about.
So I got to jerk off monthly.
For 78 people to watch you jerk.
How about this? Yeah, okay. So once a month, that's all your patrons, that's all your OnlyFans subscribers want, is you have to jerk off, butthole, like legs up.
No, whoa. You have to do some dignity. Like,
No, he doesn't, because it's for guys. What are we doing here?
Okay,
It's not
sorry.
for
My bad,
women.
my bad,
Women
my
aren't
bad.
watching this. So
You don't know what's what, but anyways.
okay, you live in your dream world, pal. That's fine. So
The whole thing's a fucking fantasy.
Yeah, I
so
know.
I'll live in my dream world.
okay,
yeah.
fine. Either way, so asshole pointing
There's
at the camera.
100,000 women watching my channel. Yeah, go on. All they want me to do is jerk off once a day.
Sure, once a day, okay. And you're making what amount of money a month where you are now like
and, no,
I'm
you can look your family in the eye.
Well, I'd have to like make sure it was okay. I would imagine. I don't want.
No, you can do it with a mask on.
Oh, you can do it with a mask
Why
on.
not?
They don't even
Yeah.
know it's me.
Why not?
Well,
yeah.
people know it's you.
You have no
Well, how would anybody know it was
You
me?
have no tattoos, right?
Okay.
Do you have a
no one knows it's
superfluous
you.
third nipple we don't know
No.
about? Okay, well there you
How do
go.
you explain your family where all this money's coming from?
Well,
Gambling.
I would tell them.
Okay, so someone knows it's you, and it's going to get out.
So wait, you sit down with your 18-year-old son.
Well,
and
maybe
you
not with my kids, but I would tell my wife if I was going to do this.
Okay, well you need
I
someone to set the
wouldn't want
camera
it
up.
to be like
so-
a fucking
You would have to be giving them each a Porsche.
a Porsche.
No,
A
I want a
Porsche
month.
Tell
or
stop.
a Porsche.
No, a Porsche, the car.
I want a
What
monthly.
is the number? I have no idea. I don't know.
In
I don't
US.
know. I don't know, Matt. I
What
don't
a
know. What's
pussy.
your number?
Yeah, Matt, what's your number?
You seem to have thought a lot about this.
No, but I can give you a number quicker than you said.
Okay, what's a number that
Like
you'll
$5,000
do?
a month.
That's all it would take.
Oh, I think I'm. Yeah, at that point, sure.
Really? Well, you could get that. Start an OnlyFans. You can definitely get $5,000
No,
a
there's
month.
no way anyone's.
1,000% you can.
This is because Simon wants to pay $5,000 a month to watch you jerk off. That how sick.
Well, now
this
that I
is.
know it's 5,000, I'm sure he'd accept less than that.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that
was his like. That was his big number.
No.
This guy's taking like
Yeah.
$1,250 a month.
Yeah, I'll do it for one patron.
It's all negotiation from here. Anyways, no, that's definitely not enough. Like, what does that even pay you a year? 5,000 a month.
60 grand.
No fucking way. That
Well,
is
again,
not,
you're
that's
doing it with a
not
mask.
enough.
No one
half
knows.
hour a day for a half hour a day.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. A half
If-
hour out
if
of your
How
day.
nobody-
much is your time worth?
If nobody would ever know,
This is what I just said. You have a mask
and
on.
you have a mask on, well, it'd be totally different because
the
just
problem is I have tattoos.
hear me out for a
Okay,
second.
go
Well, you
ahead.
could just cover your tattoos up. Wear a fucking thing that you could figure it out.
Okay.
Anyways,
I'd like to see you jerk off.
You
with just your
edit.
pants like
You
around your
edit.
butt cheeks.
You edit
not pulled all the
videos.
way
I'm
down.
sure you could figure it out.
Yeah, just green screen it.
What was I saying?
Your monthly stipends for jerking off on OnlyFans for guys jerking off to
Oh,
you.
that's
jerking
what I
off.
was gonna say. Is that a lot of these OnlyFans? It's like let's say it's a guy and
Yeah.
they're watching a girl.
Yeah.
They want to like.
Yeah, interact.
It's a relationship. You know what I mean? So it's not a mask thing. It's
And you could hire someone to do that for you.
it's a very private.
You can
thing,
hire
you
someone
know?
to do that. Yeah, you
To do
don't-
what? To be
do the
you?
messages.
Be your
yeah.
aide de camp, or what's it called? Your
Aide de
No,
camp.
what's it when the guy wears the thing?
Showrunner.
No,
Oh,
the guy,
surrogate.
Surrogate. Thank you.
So you don't even have to be.
No, you have to jerk off, and then you have someone who handles the social media aspect of it. So when someone's like, "I love your dick and balls," they're sitting there going, "Ooh, thanks, sweetie. What do you want to see me do?"
In your voice.
I don't think that's how it is, though. I think it's FaceTime, isn't it? And you're like live
Well,
with the
that's
person.
big money. No,
I don't think that's how it is. No.
What
Dude,
happens?
dude? A lot of these people have like 1 million subscribers. You think they have time
What
to?
I think for enough money, you do whatever.
What
you
have
know?
I've heard happens on the site?
Oh, you've heard. I'm basing everything I know off Euphoria, by the way.
is you can't see anything unless you subscribe to the person.
Okay.
So you don't know what you're getting.
Okay.
And then usually when you get there, there'll be clips
Okay.
that are about 20 seconds to 30 seconds that may be explicit or just leading up to explicit stuff.
Yeah.
And then it says for another $10. you'll
Simon,
see
it's the
thing.
So you
classic-
just go in and like look at the free clips? Is that what you're
I don't
up
know.
to?
I mean, this is
Simon.
what I've heard people do.
Yeah, that's, I got
No, Simon, there are no free clips.
Simon, I know you've never been to a strip club, but it's much like the strip club where when you go to the strip club,
I have been to one, Matt. Thank
okay,
you.
well then you know that the first song is sort of that like, I just dance around. Maybe you get half
Oh,
a
I
nipple.
see what you're saying. Yeah,
and then by
gotcha.
the third song, I'm naked, but just long enough to make you go upstairs and pay me $20 a song to rub my
I totally hear you. I think this is different than that.
No, I think it's the exact same.
Simon, either way, live in my
As a
dream
subscriber,
world.
you get teased. If you want what you came for, you have to pay more.
Yes, it's all about money.
Okay, so Simon, fine. Some guys will give you an extra $100 to do a video where, I don't know, you have a duck mask on.
And you
Who the
say their
fuck
name.
cares?
You
Yeah.
say their name.
You say Jonathan as you come. That was terrible. Was that a Donald Duck?
Yeah.
I thought it was
I was
good.
saying Kamar Babar.
I heard.
That was better.
That was okay.
Yours was trash.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it sounded pretty good. Was it trash, Kamar?
I was surprised his was better. No, I wasn't surprised that yours was better. I was surprised that you could
Yeah,
do one,
it's-
but his was
That's
better.
okay. Don't worry about it. We're not friends anymore.
This guy's a fucking politician over here.
Would you? Would you like?
Donald Trump.
Do you think you would judge someone if you found out they were making their bag from
Depends on what
OnlyFans?
they were doing.
Does it?
Yeah.
Why would you
it
judge
does.
them?
If I was just painting paintings on OnlyFans and people paid me money to just watch me paint fully clothed.
Yeah.
So Simon, if you find out that I'm making 20 grand a month sticking fruit up my ass once a day on OnlyFans, you lose respect for me, or it changes our relationship somehow.
Only because you've
Because
been holding
I got bad news.
It's only because you've been keeping the money to yourself.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would change it. I mean,
Oh, it seems like it would, just
It's-
judging by your.
well, I mean, right now I assume that you don't shove fruit up your ass.
Well, that's because I'm
on
broke.
camera.
So if I am, I'm doing it for
When
really
he pulls
nothing.
up in a Bugatti on a
then
hot
I'll
summer day
I'll know.
Yeah.
Then I'll know.
with a bag full of fruit.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're gonna rent you a car just to fuck with
Oh
his head.
my god! I can just see Matt with like a
There's like
one of
literally
those Mexican bullet gondoliers, just full,
of bananas,
carrots,
full of bananas.
and
Yeah.
2 cucumbers
Yeah.
on his back, like katana blades, driving around in a fucking.
And the back seat is just
Lamborghini.
68 pounds of bananas, raw bananas. I like it.
No, that wasn't what. And you have an OnlyFans, I assume.
No, I'd have to do the full Monty if someone would help me do that stuff. Because I'm on phone, I think it's easier to set it up on a computer.
What
Here's
if
the-
somebody paid you money to do like your comedy routines?
I've thought about it.
Naked.
I've thought about it.
Can I tell you what the problem is?
Yeah.
Like, so we have a podcast, right? And you start it and it's awkward because if you don't have a following, you know that you're starting it
You're talking to nothing.
precisely, right? So that's awkward enough. Just talking to friends, which is something you do anyway. But it's awkward enough putting that out in the world and then hoping. I can't imagine the awkward stage of an OnlyFans account where like you're literally like especially as a guy.
no.
Yeah, like we're like those first months
Those
where
are
you're
weird people.
But do you really have to do anything before
I would say
you get
most
paid?
people have a following and then start an OnlyFans account to see who will come over.
That's
I
right,
don't think a lot of people just go, I'm going to start jerking off, sticking my finger on my butt on Fridays, and if you build it.
If you jerk
I
it,
agree.
they
This
will
is what I'm
come.
saying.
If you
That's-
jerk it, they
No,
will
I-
come.
I-
That's
I
how.
did-
But hold
oh
on,
my
hold on.
god!
That's
Did
like
you,
the- that's
if
the- that's like the
if
black
you
guys in
jerk
hockey.
it,
hold on though.
you will come.
Hold on. It's different for hot girls though, Kamar. There are a ton of hot girls out there that could just on a whim start an OnlyFans and probably in a few months have like a decent following.
And I would say a lot of them are probably doing it for free on OnlyFans.
I think you're both selling yourself real short. I think there's a marketplace out there for each and every one of you.
I think so too.
I think that what he's saying, if you jerk it, they will come, is very poignant, right on the nose.
It's a long road though.
And I think they will. Like there is a group of people out there who will find Kamar very attractive. He's willing to jerk off on camera. Like,
I mean, now that you think about it, now that you say it, I don't think I've had a girlfriend who I haven't tried to convince to do porn in some way, shape, or form.
Just a home movie.
Yeah, no, but like that you could put like I remember I had listen, my first serious girlfriend, we lived together in Montreal. I was like 20 years old. Now this is like I had the internet, but the internet was young. This is like 2001. I sold weed to this guy who made porn. And I'll never forget. He was in my apartment one day, and as my girlfriend's like leaving, he comes in to buy weed. And he's like, "Is that your girlfriend?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "She lives here with you." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You guys thought about doing porn?" And I remember he was like, dude, he had a wad of fucking cash. Like he had a
That's so
fucking
polite, eh?
This guy had a brick of cash, and I remember thinking like I mean, I could do, yeah, maybe. She was
he was
not down.
totally talking about the girl.
Yeah, of course he was.
And
He
now
meant to say, is she interested in
exactly,
doing
of course.
porn?
Exactly.
Matt's like writing his ticket.
Yeah. No, because his deal was like,
Everybody who's going to be a porn star, step forward, not so fast.
no, his deal though was, I like how you guys constantly have this thing on me and it never goes on either of you.
Well,
This
I
is
couldn't
fun.
be a porn star either.
No.
Oh, I know, you're disgusting.
Don't
I know.
get me wrong.
Of course I'm doing it, but like, do you think if you're 23 now, today you'd probably be trying to hustle a girl to do OnlyFans?
Yeah.
And that's a whole
Not
word,
hustle.
but, like,
Hustle is
that's
the
Yeah,
wrong
but that's
word.
so weird. The hustle a girl to do
Listen,
OnlyFans.
Kamar.
Hustle yourself
Kamar.
to do
Communicate how
OnlyFans.
Hold on,
beneficial it would
hold
be for
on.
the both of you to do this.
Let's if I'm with that girl in 2022 and I'm 20, that same girl, we have an OnlyFans account,
Yeah,
100%,
exactly.
and we're probably pulling in some bread
It's
because she
silly.
was a fucking freak.
It's a new world. It's a new world. Then they got into just selling your nut. You don't necessarily have to
Like a bull.
Yes, like a bull. And I thought Freddie Gibbs made a real point is that you'd have lots of kids, but not a lot of dads. Like that's spreading it out, and fathers are important, or just figures like that, you know.
Or you just have a lot of your kids being raised by lesbians. That's a possibility.
Hopefully, at least. But
Like, I don't think there's just a lot of single mothers out there looking to get knocked up. Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
More so than gay or lesbian
okay,
couple?
Then
Yeah, I think there are definitely a lot of people out there who want children but don't have
I may even
significant
be
other.
like sound like a misogynist, but I think it's actually guys. All those kids, you need a balance of guys that come with them for however they end up in the big scheme of things. Maybe that's controversial. Then Freddie had the line.
Maybe that's controversial.
Freddie showed the line in the night, like the bars. He goes, "I get an NDA, a nut disclosure agreement." Like, but as if he'd been waiting all his life to say it. It was just the perfect, because, as I said, if you give all those sperm, those are all your kids.
Joe's laugh felt a little forced on that one, though. It was
I
funny.
thought it was pretty funny.
It was hilarious.
quick, man.
I agree. I thought it was
The way
hilarious.
it rolled off his tongue, it just, and I had to look up like, NDA? Yeah. Like, I thought he might have fucked around the words and just made it sound cool.
No, he did it. He nailed it.
What is Elon Musk doing?
Some evil, deceivious shit, man.
Because he needs the brain thing to convince everyone while he's on Mars that everything's going good. Or
But
something.
meanwhile, he's launching all these satellites into space, so many of them, just outside of Earth's orbit or whatever.
He's going to die hitting one of his satellites.
What's crazy is that
No,
he
but-
convinced Texas to build a tunnel. You haven't even...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, but he hasn't even come close to doing what he said he was going to do in LA.
Dude, he's the monorail guy from The
Yeah,
Simpsons.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
unfucking
No,
real. It
but-
doesn't make sense.
But really, think about this for a second. Like, he wants everybody to put a thing into their head,
yeah.
an antenna
Yeah.
into their head.
Yeah.
And then he's loading the sky full of satellites,
Yeah.
so full that you can't even see. You won't be able to see into space anymore. All you'll see are satellites.
I mean, that's an aggressive amount of satellites, but okay.
So two things are happening. One, he could definitely then just transmit into any willing party into Neuralink. But two, if you're putting that many satellites into space, you're pretty much going to be able to run any television program you want up there. You know what I mean? If he wants the sky to look like there are aliens coming, if he wanted it to look like there was a comet coming, the easiest way to do that would be to trick everybody onto Earth into thinking that was the case.
So you think he's going to, using his satellites, project a comet out into space?
Either a comet, a alien invasion,
I mean, dude,
or
you've come out with some
the
whoppers.
return of some sort of religious symbol, like a Christ type figure.
I have a little bit more. Maybe we should
No, we
do it in
gotta-
the post show.
yeah.
Wait, hold on. There were two things they talked about that you haven't talked about yet.
Okay, well, bring one of them up real
Well,
quick.
one of them was Bigfoot,
That's my next note.
and one of them was aliens.
Yeah, I probably avoided that. But my next
crazy.
note
Well, you
is
can take the notes if you'd like.
gigantic pit hus.
Gigantopithecus.
Yes. And so what if I think it's been tried to pull off in a movie before, but there was just this other species
It's so fucking
that
cool.
that walked among us. Would we have would they have a different society, or would everything just be built bigger to accommodate them?
Well, if it works any way like anything else we've done, we would have killed them off a long time ago.
Or
Well,
they
we
would've
can't
killed
have
us.
them raping our horses. You just can't live in a society where
What if they wore clothes? Like they were evolved too. They just were giant things. They were banned from sports.
so their horse raping tendencies they've evolved away from that.
The
That was
only
then.
reason they're raping horses is because there's hardly any Bigfoots left.
Oh, it's a sexual need thing.
Maybe that's what I said.
Maybe.
It was in young males. That's not a normal Bigfoot occurrence.
Okay.
I've only ever heard that once.
All right, we'll rate it.
Oh, this
I give it a 3. I knew I was doing all this week.
2.5. I didn't love this one. I like Freddie Gibbs, but
I thought it was great. I thought they talked about a lot of fun
Joe's
things
getting his
that-
black card back. I'm just happy for him. It was a good time. It sounds like Brian Moses is doing great. We didn't even talk about Brian Moses.
Kamar
but
never
he's-
got to.
he's a good
I guess I just keep hoping that Freddie Gibbs' rap career will come up at some point in the 2 6.5 hour
I
conversations.
still don't know who he raps for. Was he in a group? Was he?
No, he has his own label called
Be nice if-
ESGN, East Side Gangsta. You know the last one.
Well,
Joe
I would have
knew or
never
liked
known
one of his
any of
songs.
this.
I mean, listen, the first time he came on, that was one of my favorite moments on Joe's show ever when Joe's like, dude, I was listening to your playlist on Spotify today on the treadmill. I love it. And Freddie looks at me and he goes, oh, yeah? What song? And Joe just goes,
He doesn't know. What
yeah,
he's
exactly.
talking
Yeah,
about.
he was clearly had just listened to him that day.
But I also don't think Freddie loves rap. Like, he was doing one thing, he got into rapping, but he wants to get into podcasting, acting. He wants to retire. Like I said, it's hard to stay at the top and stay hot or be a Drake. And like Ice Cube, I don't like that he's come back to be thug because he wasn't really thug. He was like the most articulate guy of the crew. Eazy-E was the actual thug, and it was all by association. I'm sure growing up in that neighborhood, you are harder than other people.
Dr. Dre was in like a super R&B group.
Yeah, Dr. Dre wasn't thug either. It was like
No.
two of the other guys, and then they become NWA. Then they blow up, and now when Ice Cube comes back, like we always do, it's just sort of he's not that guy once you're a movie star. I sort of think.
World Class Wrecking Crew. That was the name of it. All
So
right.
no, just 1 second.
Oh my God,
Just back to Bigfoot for 1 second. So
Really, we can't post-show this?
okay, fine, whatever.
Well, no, well, listen,
post-show.
Simon, we'll give you 15 solid minutes of Bigfoot. Write it down
It's
right
all-
there.
It's all good.
All right, that's the show. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring the show. Don't forget to check them out at betterhelp.com/JREE podcast. You will get 10% off your first month. If you think you need to talk to someone to get some help, they're probably the place to go to, especially if you're in like a rural area. You might not have any local help. Go check them out. Don't forget our our Twitter at JREE podcast. You can follow Kamar on Instagram.
At Kamar Babar.
You can follow me on Instagram at Floydie, Floyd with 5 E's. There's a YouTube. The videos are back up if you want to go check them out. It's youtube.com/JREE podcast. There's a Reddit, r/JREE podcast if you want to join in the conversation. We have a website, wearenotjoerogan.com. There's some merch up there if you want to support the show that way. You can buy some merch. Simon, I'm sure, is working tirelessly on new designs. I can feel it. And then the Patreon, if you want to support the show and get some extra content, patreon.com/JREE podcast. For that $5 a month, you will get the post shows, the show to show we shoot the shit. And I promise we are going to start recording at least one throwback a month. We should have done that this week. That would have been really smart. That being said, that's a show. We thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there, and as usual,
Keep your eyes open.